Good evening, everyone. Hope you're all well and taking care. And this evening, I have got Gemma and Rachel from Lost Soul Paranormal UK. And before we bring them on and they join me this evening, for those of you that watched our festival at the weekend, I just wanted to let you know that our grand total at the moment stands at £1,541 for calm. We do have an auction at the moment, which we are auctioning off a picture done by Miranda Young. So if you're interested in that auction and you're interested in possibly making a bid for it, then please do go onto the Festival of the Unexplained page and you can bid for it on there. So that is the auction, yet again, on the Festival of the Unexplained page for the picture done by Miranda Young. The current bid is at £50. So for those of you that watch the festival of the weekend, you can bid on that. And we also have some other prizes that we are putting out for auction as well. A couple of the guests offered us prizes after we interviewed them at the weekend. So we have those prizes available. Bear with me, just having a couple of problems personally with these the links this evening. Okay, bear with me. Apologies. Okay. So if you have any questions for the ladies this evening, then please do comment. And also, if you would please also share it. That would be much appreciated. And also tomorrow evening, I will tell you this again later as well, but just to let you know, tomorrow evening we have got the 7 o'clock free readings. Tomorrow evening we have Jo Kelsall from Worcester. She is on tomorrow evening. She is on tomorrow evening with her free reading 7 till 8. And then at 9 o'clock, we have Mr. Gary Fields, which is in the comments there. He will be live and he will be doing his open mic hour. Anyone that's not aware how the open mic hour works, the open mic hour works that it's your hour, your subject. So get in contact, comment on there, let us know what you'd like to talk about. If you want to join Gary on screen, then you can join Gary on screen also. So let us know and we will bring you on. So this evening's guests are the lovely Rachel and the lovely Gemma, and I will bring them on now.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm here.
Hi.
Hi, Gemma.
Hello.
I think Nikki's just trying to log on because there was a bit of confusion with the link. So Nikki is on her way, I think.
And
she's sending her word, so she's definitely on her way. Nikki's coming.
Okay, that's lovely. I was having a few issues myself. I had to send that many links out today. So I do apologise, ladies.
We don't really mind who we chat to. No problem.
I'm just going to have a quick look at
We
the
just like
comments.
talking. We don't really care who it's for.
I was just saying before you came on, I'm just letting everyone know an update that the amount raised this weekend was 1,541. So we hit target and went over.
That's fabulous.
And we're also auctioning some prizes off some of the guests gave us. So we've got one auction on the page at the moment, and we have got another auction to put up yet. So we will hopefully smash that and raise even more, which would be fantastic.
Well, we would love to donate some tickets to come to the Corn Exchange with us, April the 4th, if you'd like 2 tickets for that.
That would be fantastic. Thank you very much.
Yep, come to the Corn Exchange. It's the first ever investigation of the Corn Exchange in Leeds. No one's ever done it before. So we're quite excited about that. So you're welcome to have some tickets. So that'd be our honour to do that for you.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Thank you. Oh, Gary's on. Now can you tell he's reread about 15 comments already?
Yeah. How many witches in one place?
I tell you what, it's a good job we have him.
He makes a very good coffee in his van, actually. He makes a good coffee.
Wow. Sometimes.
Nikki's going to be 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes for Nikki.
No worries. So yeah, the Corn Exchange.
She's waiting for.
That's exclusive to you guys, isn't it?
Yes.
It is, yeah. Well, I know one of the key holders there, and he approached us and said, would you like to come and investigate? He's been in a few investigations when we've gone out with the spook seekers. So he messaged and said, would you like the location? And we were like, yes, please. So we jumped at the chance.
I don't blame you. So it looks very interesting from what I've seen of it. I don't really research places or anything myself, but it does look one interesting huge building from the outside, from the pictures that I've seen. It does look big. Have you been there already?
Shopping. It's got a great shopping arcade in there. There's some spooky shops, and it's great. It's where I used to pick up my sage and skateboards when I was younger, and all the skaters would sit outside on the steps and hang out, and we'd think we were cool in our baggy trousers. So it's nice to get in there and do something a little bit different other than buy weird stuff and belts and skateboards. We've grown up.
Grown up? What's that? Oh yeah, I can't be bothered with that.
A little bit grown up.
Angelique, it's a beautiful building. So Angelique.
Oh yeah, Angelique. Yeah, Angelique's a spook seeker. She kind of taught us everything we knew while we were out and about. So yeah, I'm going to drag Angelique along, and her mum comes as well to a lot of investigations. So they're great to go investigating with. They're good fun.
That's nice that we've got. Yeah, we do that. My mum comes on all our investigations with us. She's so stroppy if she misses one, she can't come for any reason. She's so not impressed with me at all in the slightest. She gets really annoyed.
I've not invited my mum out. I daren't.
Why ever not?
She's an interesting character. I think she's watching, so hi, Mum.
I was going to say, yeah.
It's going really well. Really well.
Oh, Angelique says she can't go to that one. I'm already booked, she said.
We'll sneak her into the next one. We'll sneak you in next time,
there'll be more.
So,
sorry.
You ladies, do you want to tell us a little bit about your background in where we go with Gemma? Because first, how you started out in how did it all come about for you with Spook Seekers?
Oh right. Well, I've always been interested in the paranormal, but and I've been friends with Nikki for a long time. There came an event that friends and family could go on, so I kind of tagged along, and the rest is history, I think. Not long after that, I joined the Spook Seekers.
And how long have you been investigating for now, Gemma?
Well, it's still early days for me. I think a little over a year.
So
I'm really enjoying it so far.
So they can make you do all the things they don't want to do then, while you're being initiated.
I think so. To be honest, I like to get in there anyway. I like to do as much as I can to investigate. It's a nice experience, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, and it's going out with people that you enjoy spending your time with anyway. So to do something that you're interested in together is like it's just like it's a night out.
It is. It's my social life.
Not what I would have called a night out like 10 years ago, but now it's a night out.
Yeah. I wouldn't have it any other way now, to be honest.
I'd rather go out investigating than I would go down the pub, to be honest. So
yeah, true. Yeah.
And if you get something, it's a bonus, and if you don't, then you had a good night. So
well, that's just it, because you're spending it with the people, you know, your friends as well. So that's half the experience in itself. And every event is not one's the same. So there's always a variation on a night out.
And every location is different, isn't it? And the energy at every location is different. And then also, if you do public events, you have different energies anyway, because people, is Nikki. Hello.
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 Are you all right? Thank you for joining us.
Oh, we got there in the end.
Late to the party.
That's all right. I hold my hands. It was my fault. It's the first time that's ever happened, you know, links and stuff.
She'll be here in a minute.
Well, I was the one that sent them all out at the weekend. So every single one that got sent out from Friday till Sunday, I sent all of them individually to every single person. So,
this could have been a really fun meeting. There could have been thousands of us.
Well, we can have up to 10. We were just chatting about.
It would have been fun. It's been good fun.
It would have been. We were just chatting about how Gemma got started. What about Nikki?
Hello.
Can you hear her?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I was just checking. I was just asking Gemma, because obviously Joe spoke to Rachel a bit the other day. So I was just asking Gemma how she started out. How did it start out for you, and how long have you been investigating for, Nikki?
Me? Oh gosh, I joined a team as a paid guest a few times, and then it just so happened that mine and Rachel's eldest girls went to preschool together, and we were just the two mums in the waiting room waiting to pick the kids up, and we got chatting, and it turns out we were both kind of into this thing. So I went a couple of times with Rachel years ago as a paid guest, and then we ended up joining the team that we've been with a little while now, and just gone from there, really, and now lost solid thing.
You're echoing a bit, Nikki. Oh, I think we're all echoing. I'm
having sound issues. I can't really hear what anyone's saying.
Okay, I don't know what's going on. Oh, don't like hearing myself twice.
There's a ghost in the system.
Okay. Let's just work and see if. Right. Try talking now, Rachel.
Well, I've just had to turn Gary off because all I can see is messages from Gary up at the top. So I've just shut that down. Goodbye, Gary. Nuisance.
He is. He's like a blooming stalker. He comes on. He's not commenting on you. If he's not commenting on something, he's messaging you or something. I don't know if that's like that with you guys, but like
all the time.
Was it last night? Yeah, last night.
And he's been appropriate memes as well.
Yeah, get those too. And if he doesn't send them me on Messenger, you get them on WhatsApp. I think last night I rang him for like a 5-minute conversation. Half an hour later.
Yeah, we're big football rivals. He's a Liverpool fan. I'm a Manchester City fan. Have been since I was tiny, and we have a bit of banter. And some of the stuff he sends me is just cruel. But At least we can beat Man United. Oh, so it's on to a draw. Did we, Gary? We'll leave him alone. He's a good bloke. I miss his crazy face.
I don't. No, I'm joking. The thing is, difference being when we're allowed out, Gary comes down. Gary stays at ours every other weekend. It's like his second home. So if we don't see each other, physically see each other, it's video calls and so on instead. So anyway, it's not about him, it's about you ladies. So, let's talk about him. He always lands up getting spoken about, doesn't he? Go away, Gary.
Poor lad.
Oh dear, bless him. Such a shame. Yeah, so ladies, sorry, getting completely off subject here. See, this is what happens, you see. If he comes in the comments, it all just goes to pot. I'm blaming him.
Oh,
So now that Nick is here and we've had a little bit of a chat today, right, let's talk about the corn exchange and what do you know about the place? Because that's what we were talking about before Nikki came on, but I didn't want to be rude. I wanted to introduce her first. And now we'll go back to our previous conversation. So have any of you, apart from, would this be your first investigation there when you go in April?
It'll be our first investigation as Lossell Paranormal. But we've got a few other team members coming with us. We're taking a lot of spook seekers with us, and some West Yorkshire Paranormal will be coming with us too. So it's kind of just a little bit of a mini team event. This is our first one. It'd just be really great to get in there and let them experience that first before we start taking some guests or filming starts as well. So we can't wait to get in there and share that first experience with our friends. So if you're free, April the 4th, you're welcome to come up. There's a space for you.
By all means.
Oh, bless you. Oh, getting out. That would be amazing.
I know I keep sending you invites and he's not taken them up yet.
Oh, I'm literally sick of my house. Ed has been out with others during like when we have been allowed to go out and stuff. I think I've been out twice because I have to keep shielding and all that rubbish still. So it'd be nice to actually get a little bit of normality. Because I'm fed up of stopping in. Anyway, so how old is the Corn Exchange?
Let me have a Google.
Yes, that's how short my memory is. I never told you.
Weren't expecting that.
I'm having a Google and looking like I know what I'm talking about.
we'll pretend it's fine.
Okay. I just got Rachel. Can you try logging out and then logging back in for me, please? Because your sound's not right at all. Kind of your sound and your movements are not coordinated.
What else? I'm logging from my phone because I've just moved house. I'm like this all the time. I've just moved house, so I don't have any broadband. So I'm using hotspot. So I'll do it from my phone rather than a laptop. So if you give me a few minutes, I'll come back.
Yeah, no worries. I'll just chat to the girl. Sorry.
No worries.
Okay.
And then there was 3.
Okay, Gemma. Oh no, you're fine. Nikki.
Hello, do I work? Am I working?
Better now. Yeah. It was really echoey.
I can hear an echo when you speak, Nikki.
Hold on. We may have to do it so that we just have to mute the people that are not talking. It sounds really rude, but to try and get rid of that echo, see if that works. I'll wait for it now. Oh, look, I said that and it comes back. So annoying. Oh, goodness me. Right. I'm gonna. Right, see if that's any better.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think what I'm going to have to do is, if that person's not talking, I'm just going to have to go between and just mute whoever isn't talking. I feel really rude now because I just put Nikki in mute. But it stopped echoing because she's like, I am here. It stopped echoing now. I think that's what it is. I think must be feedback on the microphone or something.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
better.
mine's quite contained because I've got my headphones on.
I don't know. It might be. Oh, Rachel's back. Right, let's unmute Nikki. Okay.
Hello?
Hello.
Is this any better?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'll try my phone then.
I think we're sorted now. Just to go, I think that every so often I might have to just mute anybody that isn't talking. That's just how we're getting on going. Everybody's microphones on. We're getting feedback.
Ooh, you are very, very accurate.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Do you want to? That's better, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little less echo in my end. It's just because I'm trying
I
to
see
share
you're
hotspot.
fine now. I think Gemma's all right. I think it's right. We might have to get Nikki to drop out and then come back because I think it
took a 15 minutes to get here.
I know, but when she talks, it echoes. Better. I'll turn her back on. Okay. Sorry, ladies. I do apologise. Okay, I think the echo stopped again now. Yeah, that's better. Can you all hear me okay?
Yeah, fine. Yeah.
Okay, great. StreamYard's live. Oh no, I'm echoing again. Right, anyway, we're just going to have to... Well, I'm going to mute whoever isn't talking at the time, so I do apologise. Okay. So, Rachel, so how many team members? There's 4 of you in your team, is that correct?
There's 4 of us. There's the 3 of us, and then there's Kate as well, who joins us. I've stolen her from West Yorkshire Paranormal. So she'll be coming out and about with us. She's at home at the moment, taking care of the kids at the moment, whereas I've just let mine run wild downstairs. In fact, one's come say hello. Pop. We're still in a strange house, so I think they're still trying to look for me. So yeah, there's Kate as well, and then we'll be stealing Gary, and Jolene will be pinching her as well. So we're not going to be a huge team. It's not, we're not going to do huge events and locations and take 30-40 people with us. I want to try and keep it small. The point of us starting up together was that we've been approached to do some filming for a new Amazon show, and it's like a team swap type event. So some 3 teams will come to us. It's a bit like 4 in a bed, but in the paranormal world. So it's a little bit like that. It's all still a little bit secretive, and I'm not allowed to mention the other teams that are involved. But people will probably guess because they're probably saying the same things. So it's just a small group of us, just the 4 of us. I say we'll pinch Gary, we'll pinch Jolene. And
you can't have Gary and Jolene. No, I'm joking.
No, you must learn to share, Karen. They're ours too.
You knew one before me. I can't say, but you knew one before I did.
Oh, did I? We only met Jolene about 2 years ago, didn't we? When we went to Oakwell Hall.
I think it was about 2 or 3 years ago. And it was 2 or 3 years ago we met. Now.
Yeah, I think we've known Gary a while, haven't we? I think.
They wouldn't know they can't talk. They're not allowed. I'll cut them off.
Have you cut them off?
I'm joking. Not really. No, not really. That's fantastic, though, that you're doing that. Is that somebody that approached you, or was it your idea?
Somebody messaged on Instagram, and it was a little bit like, "Oh, this can't be legit." And then as I talking to them, we've spoken to the production team and the research, and I've met some of the other teams, so it's quite exciting. Sorry, just bear with me a second. I have a small intruder.
A small intruder. Is that the size of an imp? Not quite an imp.
I need a holiday. I need a night in the dark. Trying to sleep.
And that's amazing that you're doing that. I like that. What an unusual, different idea. That should take off really well. It is different.
You're a little bit echoey my end, Karen.
A bit here as well.
I don't know what's going on. My connection's all right. Right. I'm just going to click different people and see. How's that?
It's fine.
I think Rachel's frozen. Oh, no, she moved. I thought she was frozen then, and then she moved her on.
Because now I'm on my phone, I'm trying to look at all the comments, but because I'm on my phone, I'm my hand's in the way, so it looks like I'm frozen, but it's not.
I think someone thinks the speaker's too loud on one of us.
Yeah, Matt Tillett says that someone's got their speakers turned up too loud, which is creating an echo. I've turned mine right the way down. I always do because of the echo problem. So it could possibly be because of that. Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, is that better?
Bear with me. I'll leave you to talk. I'll be back in a moment.
Oh, she's off. Oh, well, I know she was talking about paranormal swaps, but I didn't think she meant like now.
She's gone.
She's gone. Oh, blimey. So, ladies, do one of you want to pick up on what Rachel was saying about this four in a bed but not four in a bed type new concept?
It's kind of Rachel's baby. Rachel knows much more about it than we do. During lockdown, she's done so much networking with different teams, different people. She's really kind of got us out there, but they're not our contacts. Rachel's done all that legwork. She's just taking us along, really.
Well, that's the thing, though, isn't it? You've always got one or two people in the team that tend to be the contact, be like the main contact and stuff. It's like we kind of do it between us. And more recently, it's either Joe or myself that tend to do it.
Yeah, we split it down a little bit. Rachel's done a lot of the networking and got everybody set up with the people that we kind of need to speak to. I do a lot of the locations. It's me that sits at a laptop and emails everybody who will listen. And Gemma does a lot of research, but she also does some location stuff as well. So, yeah, Rachel, you'll be able to ask about the network side.
So you've got the film and everything you've got coming up. And so are you going to be doing team shares? Are you going to be doing private events, public events? What are your plans for as in when we're allowed out of lockdown? Who wants to answer?
It's going to be a bit of a mix.
What do you prefer doing personally?
I like a team share.
I do as well, but I do like a bit of a private investigation as well, because you can get your teeth right into it, can't you?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah, same. But I think when you're doing, what private locations have you done before? Have you managed to all get out together as Lost Soul Paranormal since you got together, or has COVID prevented that?
I think COVID's taken precedence.
Oh.
There's one place we did go to just as we were allowed to when we were allowed to sort of go out for a little bit, and we did Keighley Underground Streets. We went there with West Yorkshire Paranormal, so that was a really good location. We got some really great stuff in there, and it's somewhere that we're keen to get back to. There's a few dates booked in with West Yorkshire as well, if anybody wants to check those out. So it's a really fun place. It's really unusual. And I did some filming there just before lockdown was happened again, the third lockdown. and that was part of like an urban exploration YouTube channel. So I went there with a few guys from and did that. And again, got some great stuff. And there's a gentleman that's part of the team. This guy, his name escapes me, and he can't hear, but he feels all the vibrations of movements.
Oh,
and
wow.
as I was hearing things in the corridor, his back was to the corridor. I could hear things and saw things moving. And he stood up at the same time that I was looking round, and he was saying that he could feel it. So it added such a great dimension to the investigation that he could feel the things that I was hearing and seeing. So it was a little bit of validation, but in a completely different way. It was really great, and that's all on YouTube at the moment. It's terrible. I forget the name of it.
Oh,
We just
Rachel,
we pop up everywhere, though. We're just everywhere.
So are you still doing stuff with the other teams as well? So that hasn't changed. You're still working with the other teams, and you've got your smaller team as well. Is that how it's working?
Yeah, well, we love Spook Seekers. We would never want to leave Spook Seekers. It's great to take guests out and let them experience some of the things that we've seen and teach them how to use the tech and some of the spiritual side that we use. So it's great to do things with Spook Seekers. And I'm really out of breath after running down the stairs and back. And so I'm so upbeat. So we love going out with Spook Seekers. Julie and Roger have been doing it for years, and the team are awesome. We love them all, and everybody brings something different. So we're all always learning from each other, and we're quite new to West Yorkshire Paranormal, the three of us. We thought we'd do a spot of moonlighting, but a lot of their things they're all team based, really. So we go out and do some team things with them. And also they do something that I'm really interested in as well, which is the home investigations. So, people are messaging and calling saying that they're having trouble at home. They're seeing things, they're feeling things, their children are being affected. So going in there and trying to help them as well. So that's a nice side of it as well, doing something different. They both offer different skills and different opportunities.
Yeah, we had someone contacted us with regards to a property needing help. That was down, I want to say, I think it was Somerset, and it wasn't lockdown, but we were in the tiers, so obviously you couldn't go anywhere because everyone was in a different tier, and unfortunately we weren't able to go down and help, but lucky enough we knew other people that were able to go and help, because obviously because they were like in this, I think it was in one in the tier, I can't remember now, but you were allowed out and they were able to go down and do it anyway. And they were having something horrific. They'd invited in someone, thought it was something else when it wasn't, and obviously encouraged them to stay because they thought they were friendly and all the rest of it. So they encouraged the spirit to stay and everything else. And it turned out it was definitely not what they thought it was. And it was the one thing that was causing all their problems, basically. So they're on a 2-weekly check now, because she was openly chatting, openly welcoming in and saying, you can stay and everything else. And but yeah, it was masquerading as something it wasn't, basically. So yeah, that needed sorting, because everything was fine for a little while, and then she started having all these different problems, and then she got in contact. I was like, well, unfortunately, I can put you in contact with someone else, but I'm not in a position where I can help you. So that's been actually surprising. We've been contacted by a few, you probably have as well, had quite a few different people contacting you during this, asking for help in the home and everything. Because I suppose normally we're not really at home that much, are we? No one is, because you go to work, like you got family, you take the kids to school, you go to work, you got all the other stuff you do, you're preoccupied and whatever. Whereas for months on end, it's been a whole different situation, and you're probably noticing and picking up on things that you didn't actually even realise were there. What do you think, Nikki?
Yeah, I know for a fact Rachel has received quite a lot of requests for help. Ones that she's been to before, and I think we kind of said the same as you. We don't know if it's everybody's worry and anxiety over kind of the state of the world at the moment that's these things, or whether we're just noticing more because we're at home. Are we a bit more switched on to it because of heightened emotions? Who knows? But yeah, it definitely does seem to be a bit more of a thing at the moment, and I think we're going to be busy when we can get back out again.
I hope so.
See, and the other thing that I've had is people contacting constantly, wanting readings and things as well. I think that's another thing. I think anxiety, whenever I was thinking, you know, that we're going to know the answers to when we're going to get out of this and all the rest of it. But unfortunately, none of us actually know. It doesn't matter how good you are at what you do. It's unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen from one day to the next at the moment, do we, really?
No.
No, definitely not.
So what other locations have you ladies got coming up, as in when? As in when? I'm just going to say as in when now. I'm not going to say...
We've got a few locations that I've approached, and I kind of approached them during that strange time where we weren't in lockdown, but things were still restricted. I'm not going to give away location names at the moment because they're not places that have been investigated before, so it's quite exciting. They're quite local, and they've encouraged us to get back in touch as soon as certain restrictions are lifted. So we'll definitely be extending an invite for those because they've got quite a local reputation, but they've never actually been investigated or haven't been investigated in a long time. So that's quite exciting.
And I suppose it's going to be like that for even the regular locations. They've been so long now, no one's been in there for. What are your things? What do you think it's going to be like when we go back out? What do you think, Gemma?
I think it's going to be busy.
I think, I was going to say, I think it's going to be very busy. Because obviously, I think the more a place is investigated, the less likely you are to maybe get some sort of interaction. So, you know, maybe that gap in time will probably encourage a little bit more action when we go out.
See, I suppose in some ways, a lot of locations, on occasion, they've been like, you're going to go to brand new locations, which have never been done. So that's going to be really interesting for you. And I think some places are going to be like that a little bit when we go back out to them, even the ones that have been done before. Because people were going constantly, week after week, Friday night, Saturday night, and then nothing.
Yeah, which tends to be the case, doesn't it?
So I think it'd be interesting to see what the regular locations then the majority of people go to, what they like we start going back out again. And the fact of, like I said, people are constantly there weekend after weekend, but then no one's been there for months now. So I'm interested to see what those places are like.
I can't wait to find out.
I'd be interested to see if it goes the other way. You know, is there going to be more interaction because it's been so quiet recently, or is the energy that's built up there week after week after week by all these different people going in, is that going to be a bit flatter? So I'm interested to see which way it goes, really.
See, this is a conversation that we had quite a few times over the weekend. I don't know if you had this conversation with Joe or not, Rachel, when you were chatting to her. I can't remember.
You weren't listening, you mean?
Hey, come on. I was listening all weekend. I had like 4 hours sleep all weekend. I was
superhuman.
Every interview went into another, and I kind of, you know what? I don't know what. I'll probably ask you something. It's probably something that was talked about in another interview, so I wouldn't even know now. We were talking about it quite a few times. Interviews I did, we were talking about it and saying about some people have said that they think it will be quite flat. Other people have said, "Oh, I think they'll be ready for us to come back." What do you think?
Oh, sorry, I'm just getting a little bit. It's super echoey. This sounds terrible. I know there's a few comments saying that sounds bad as well. I always find that there are so many locations that are really over investigated. There's somebody in there every week. There's one not far from us, and there are teams in there nearly every day of the week. They've made TV shows about it and films about it. And I think a few people that know we're in West Yorkshire will guess where I mean. And it takes a lot of energy for a spirit to try and communicate or manifest or to even use the equipment. So if somebody's in all the time, they're going to get bored of it. They're not going to have the energy to try and manifest or try and communicate or to tap on walls or affect any of the equipment. Spirit have been around for hundreds, thousands of years. They're not going anywhere. So it just gives them a little bit of time to recharge their batteries, just like we need to. And just before lockdown, I knew that I know of one team that had helped to send some spirit to the light. And whilst that's great, as a paranormal investigator, that's terrible. So whilst we want to see spirit, sort of happy and safe and sat on their way and settled and moved on and resting in peace, as a paranormal investigator, it's like, please don't do that. We're going in there next week. So I think we'll just have to find out. What happened. Yeah, it's so totally selfish. Please stay here. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens. We can't really guess until we get out there. Nobody's ever been in these circumstances before. We'll just have to see what happens. It's exciting. I can't wait to get out again. I'm getting cabin fever.
Yeah, I think we're all a bit like that. I'm going to ask you all individually. So I'm going to go to Gemma first. What is your opinion on, basically, Rachel just brought it up about spirits being moved on in locations?
It depends, really, if they want to be moved on. In the first instance. I mean, we've been in investigations before where we've asked and they've said yes outright straight away. So then, yeah, but if they're doing no harm, there's, keep them there for, people like us to go out and interact with.
Fair enough. Fair comment. I'm going to ask Nikki the same question. I'm just going to turn you off. Sorry. I'm just hoping this is going to work better.
Can you hear me this time?
I can hear you.
Oh, good. Sorry, I'm on call at work and I've just been reading my messages. Could you just repeat that question for me?
Yeah, sure. I was asking individually, what's your opinion on people moving spirit on at locations?
I don't know. I'm a bit torn on it, really. I mean, like Gemma said, we've been to locations where people haven't. I don't think we should go in places and start trying to move people on left, right, and centre because that's not our place. But I suppose it depends what you get on the night. If we take the likes of Gary and Joe with us, they might give us a bit more of an idea of what is appropriate at that time. But I don't think we should be doing it willy-nilly. It's not our place. It's not our property that we're going into. So yeah, I think it's very, very much a case-by-case kind of basis.
Yeah, that's fair enough. To be honest, agreed. Like, if they're specifically asking for help and they specifically want that help, that's a little bit different, because you have got also not just that, you've also got I'm not going to say where, but I also know of a location that I contact. I don't know if you've come across this, and it is actually in their booking terms and conditions of not to move the spirits on.
I think I know exactly
what
they actively encourage you, don't they?
Don't close the board down in that top room, that kind of thing. Am I on the right track? Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. And does it make a difference?
Yeah, there's a couple of places. There's one which and then there's another one as well that specifically asks you not to do it. This is a conversation that's been had on different shows, not over the weekend, but different shows done on here. I tend to ask that question because I find it quite interesting of what your thoughts are. But personally, I don't believe. I understand the location wants the spirits there, obviously, otherwise we can't go in and we can't come and do what we do. But then on the other hand, they are not owned by anyone. So so no one actually has the right to say they've got to stay or go either.
I think it all depends on the legitimacy of the team or the psychic or the medium who's investigating and what they're getting through. Anybody could turn around and say, yes, there's a spirit of a little girl here that would like to move on. And there isn't really. And inadvertently, you're sending a spirit that could still be out there looking for someone that they love. And you just rip them right away from, from the air and sent them off, and they're still looking and leaving them in torment. It's not our place unless we know 100%, which nobody will ever know 100%. You could be the greatest psychic in the world, and you would never get a definitive answer. We should leave alone unless somebody specifically asks you, I'm lost, I want to go find my mum, my mum's in heaven, I want to go find my mum, please help. Unless that specifically comes through on some kind of device, or maybe 3 or 4 mediums pick up on that same message at the same time, something that's solid and concrete, we should leave alone. It's not our place to start moving spirit on unless we are 100% certain, and it's the right people doing it. We aren't mediums, we're paranormal investigators. It's not our place, and nor do we have the knowledge or skill set to be able to do that with spirit. So we would never attempt to do something like that, because it's disrespectful and it's also dangerous. You don't know what you're dealing with.
Yeah, that's true.
Small
Have you ever
personal
come across that before, where you've been to a location and you've had spirit communication and you've thought it was one thing and it's something completely different?
We have been, we have been on locations before where that's happened. Where they lead you to believe something. I think, Rachel, did you have one on an event where they came across as a little child or something like that?
Yeah,
and then
it was in Rotherham.
It was in Rotherham. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And it actually took a bit of a turn for you, didn't it?
Oh, really?
There's a particular spot on this wall in a building in Rotherham, and I always tend to sit there. Every time I go into this one room, I always find myself sat there, and Gary always sits next to me and he holds my hand. And there was a little girl, I could just feel this like running past, like this breeze, and I could hear giggling. And I kind of felt a little bit emotional for this little girl. She seemed scared at one point, and I found myself hugging Gary's legs. It was quite random, didn't know I was doing it. And I kind of woke up a little bit and I'm like, why am I hugging Gary's legs? And then I just got this feeling then that something was really amiss. And Gary was then starting to pick up on somebody who wasn't very kind to children. And it seemed to be masquerading as this child. So we were like, oh, it'll be okay, we'll help you, we'll help you, we'll protect you. And then the next thing, it just turned really sinister, and I started getting really aggressive. I was screaming, swearing, shouting, I was throwing things. And then as Gary just told it to bugger off, really, and it left. But it started off, as a child, and you could kind of feel the happy energy around, and there was like a breeze as they were skipping by, and you could hear footsteps and laughter and giggles. And then next thing, it just became really sinister, and I could just hear this whistling of a song in my head. And this man sort of came near, this horrible man came near and sort of snatched the girl away. And so it was almost like he'd sort of sent this girl in first so he could have his time, and the mirror started shaking, and it was just a really weird experience. Thank goodness Gary was there, otherwise I might still be there now, looking in a corner.
Oh my God. Have either of you had that sort of had any type of experience like that before?
Not quite like that, no.
You're lucky. Do you know what? I think it's Gary. We've had something similar. I think it's Gary's fault, to be honest, because he was there then as well. I'm just saying.
I've seen the video. I've seen a video actually of it happened to you.
Gary was there both times.
Yeah, it's him. I'm sure he does it on purpose. He does it on purpose. He's like, come and use her. Come and talk through Rachel. It's like, if you could not, please, that would be good. That would be just magic. Could you just not do that today?
And then, have any of you ladies got abilities in any way?
No.
No, I don't know. I get a lot of feelings on situations. I tend to pick up on feelings in situations. We were on an investigation once where we'd gone into the reception area of a building, and I started getting the pains in my chest and into my left arm. I ended up having to leave the building for a brief period of time because it became so intense. But it transpired that somebody had actually died on that spot of a heart attack.
Oh.
Yeah. It was amazing. But once I found out what it was, it kind of eased off.
That's the thing. It's doing that, speaking out and saying that you're experiencing that, and letting them know that, yeah, okay, I'm feeling that, so you can get rid of it now, take it away now, please. And
yes, yeah.
The problem is sometimes, unless we've been on events before where we've gone as public. Right, obviously, I'm not going to name names or anything, but we've gone. Sorry, but we've gone to events before, and you feel like sometimes, I don't know about you guys, but if you go on someone else's event, sometimes you don't feel like you can speak out or whatever, and you'll be picking up on something. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I feel really awkward if I'm there as a guest on someone else's event and they've got a sensitive or a medium or something, and they tend to do all the talking, and they don't ask you, are you getting anything? Do you feel anything? What do you think about this route? And they ask your opinion and so on. I think that's really important to involve the people that you're with as well. Like you said with you, like you spoke out and said about what you were feeling. And I don't even think you need to be a sensitive. Sometimes I think if spirit want you to feel something, you're going to feel it. If they want you to experience something, you're going to experience it. And that's in my opinion. What do you think?
I agree. Yeah.
Jess is asking you, ladies, what are your thoughts on scratches and markings? Gemma, show you first.
It broke up there. What? Sorry.
On scratches and markings.
On scratches and markings. What are my thoughts on it? Sorry, I'm just reading the comments now. I don't know. I've not really come across any of that with me or anyone else. To be honest, I don't know if either of you two have got any input.
Not me personally. I think Rachel has.
Yeah, I've seen. We've been on a few investigations, and even I've got friends that have been in buildings that have experienced activity. A friend of mine was once upstairs in a pub that they used to work in, and when they came down, they had this huge scratch across their back, even though they said they'd not been near anything that could have done that. But the kind of scratch that you came down with would have taken such a massive amount of energy. I am always convinced that that you're looking at demons, there's something sinister, something evil. It could just be something catching your attention. And subconsciously, we're always touching at parts of our body. I think I've been fiddling with my jeans for the last 25 minutes, and I didn't even realize I was doing it. And so I've just pulled a piece of thread out. So I think that it all depends on who the person is and the circumstances and where you are. I went to a residential haunting a few months ago, whilst it was just before lockdown, the first lockdown, and the guy that was living there was waking up with scratches. So we went in and we had a look around and did some investigating. Didn't really pick up on much, but we did a thorough house cleansing anyway. And just before I left, I put a piece of equipment on the floor, and I'd had a look, and there was a little bit of a chip in the side of the bed frame, and that would totally correspond with where these scratches were. And welts and scratches take like minutes to come up, so it could be anything, could be the slightest scratch. So I'm not saying that some of the scratches that people are experiencing, aren't spiritual. It's not energy, but there's always another reason, another rational explanation as to where these scratches come from. And I think it's important to look for those before you start screaming demon. TV has a lot to answer for, I think, especially when you're watching some of the bigger shows and they're coming away and they've got 3 scratches down their back. It's always 3, so of course it's always demonic. And so people watching that, if they end up with a little scratch on the side of their neck or the leg, and if there's 3 of them, they instantly think that there's a demon in that house. So I think TV has a lot to answer for, when really sometimes it's just us. It's just us doing it ourselves, or it's an accident and you don't realise you've done it. I'm so cynical.
The thing, like I said, the thing is always look for the logical answer first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
If
definitely.
you're going to do it right, do it right. Look for the logical answer first. Even though, as well as Joe and Gary, I'm a medium as well, but I will always go to the debunk before I turn around and say, that's that. Even if I'm aware of someone in the room or getting communication from someone, it doesn't mean they're doing whatever it is somebody else is hearing or whatever. It could be a normal noise, but because you're in a dark, haunted location, it's something that it isn't.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, that happens. I've come across that quite a few times where it can be something logical. Oh my god, did you hear that? Did you hear that? It's this, you know. And I hate to be the horrible person who goes, well, sorry, actually, it isn't. It's just something else, something logical, something normal. Just a normal tapping or something. What do you think? Oh, about tapping, just out of curiosity. Do you use knocking as communication?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
It's not kind of a go-to, but it's something else to try. But we've not had a huge amount of success with it, to be quite honest.
No, I think it all depends on the building as well. If you're in an old building that's going to creak, it's going to groan. You just walked over a floorboard, it's going to click back 20 minutes later. If you're going to make a knocking noise and you hear something in return, it's likely to be the building. So I think it depends on where you are, who you're with, and what the building is.
Yeah, agree. Jenny says, what's your favourite places? So what your favourite locations? So Gemma, we'll go you first.
Oh God, there's a fair few. I personally quite like Gopewell Hall. I saw for myself quite a lot and experienced the feeling of being touched myself. So that to me was my favourite.
Nikki?
Local, I mean, we had a great time at the Black Swan in York. That was good. Personally, I love the Thackeray Medical Museum. I know it can be done to death, but I love the history of it. It's an old workhouse. My huge fascination is medical history. I love old hospitals. You know, that's kind of where I'm drawn to go. So Thackeray is kind of the whole package for me. I do really like it there.
Yeah, Joe and Gary have both said that we need to make our way up there at some point. So it's definitely a good place to go to. We'd enjoy it. Get there eventually. Might not be this year, might be next year, but get there eventually.
Well, we might be going, so come along with us.
I know. I've seen what you've been
invitations now.
That looks good. That looks good. But then they've coincided with things we've got ourselves. So I'm like, no, I can't do that one. How it's worked out each time. There will be a time. It will happen. We turn up one night.
Oh yeah, somebody's just said Drakelow. I did really enjoy Drakelow about a year ago now, just before lockdown. Me and Rachel went on a bit of a road trip and we went to a team share in Drakelow and that was really good. I was a bit disoriented and a bit claustrophobic, but yeah, I did like that place.
I think I've done it 10 times and I think I've done it 12 now, something like that. So you've been without me, you see. See, that's for me, I get left home, you see. Jenny says, another question from Jenny. Do you ever feel unsafe at times? Have you ever been anywhere you've actually felt unsafe?
Not spiritually, but there's been a few places that have felt physically unsecure just because of the location and the area around it, the people you kind of see walking by. We went to one location. It was big. I think it was just after we'd done Drakelow, and the area wasn't a particularly nice one. And we nipped to the shop. We went to get snacks, you know, as you do. You need 20 bags of crisps to get you through the evening and 20 bottles of Lucasade. So Gemma and I had to walk to the shop, and the area was just awful. And you kind of think, are they going to follow us and shank us as we were out on the corner? But spiritually, I've never felt unsafe in a location. But physically, I have. But no, I don't think we've come across anywhere that's made us feel a bit uneasy. I know Nikki felt a little bit uneasy in the Justice Galleries. There was a certain part of one of the courts that she wouldn't walk to. And we took some pictures,
Oh,
and when we looked back over them, I actually picked up on one of the live photos a mist starting to form, and you can see the head and the shoulders, and it was almost like it was sat in the dock waiting to be sentenced. So I've got
and it must have been strong,
camera,
because I don't claim to be sensitive in any way, but I did not want to go in that room.
yeah, he didn't like that. We couldn't walk any further in. She just wouldn't go in.
And I usually do.
Tracy, have you been to 30 East Drive? And if so, what did you think of it? I've always wanted to go when I was a
I've
kid.
not been there.
None of
No,
you?
we've not been. It's something that we've thought about doing, but I have some friends who are in a team. They're not local, and they went one evening, and unfortunately, one of them almost really hurt themselves because they tripped up over some fishing wire. And whether nobody knows who had left it there or anything like that, but she was almost really badly hurt. So there are lots of conflicting stories about 30 East Drive, and I think as they keep increasing the price, it's making me less interested to go. I think
Less inclined to go, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's just impossible to price groups up, you know. You can't take enough people to cover what it costs, which is a shame, because it's kind of a bit of a local legend to where we are. It'd be nice just to get in to say we've done it, this is what we think, but we are.
This is what we said.
Out of it.
Like you just said, I looked it up and I looked about costings and everything else, and I was like, whoa, that's a lot different to the last time I contacted them. There's quite a while in between. I was like, wow, that's shot up sort of thing price wise. And I was like, wow. And it is one of those kind of it's on the list. It's kind of one of those places that you want to do because it's there, and it's been. I think the problem is one of those places been hyped up so much. Is there something going on? Is there not something going on? And also, it put me off, Rachel, like you said. I remember. Sorry, noises. I completely forgot to say. I remember when someone said about the fishing wire, and it was found in a drawer or something. And like you said, that somebody nearly, obviously you knew them about being injured, and I think that's awful. And
Yeah,
it's like that, I'm sure that's been a couple of times, hasn't it? There's been fishing wire and different things like that there, apparently.
Yeah, well, I told Gary, because my friends had gone in the day before Gary went, and I mentioned it to him, and so he had a look, and in the rubbish bag that was still there, had been emptied, was fishing wire, and when he opened one of the drawers, there was a reel of it as well. So I think it had been attached to a picture of Jesus on the floor, and as they've walked in, I think that the effect was that it was supposed to be a flying picture of Jesus, but instead it just sent one of the team members flying across the floors. So I've got a small invader again.
That's all right. So, ladies, where obviously I've got the Facebook page running across the bottom there, and you've also got your own website as well. That people, if they go onto your Facebook page, they can find your website. And where else can they find you?
We're on Instagram as well, so you can find us on Instagram, and then there are links on there to our sort of personal Instagrams. I tend to just put paranormal things. I tend to just put paranormal things on my Instagram. I don't share any family pictures or anything. So you can check us out at Girls Who Ghost Hunt on Instagram, and also Lost Soul Paranormal UK on Instagram as well. And on there we have links of what's coming up and where we've been and what we've been up to, and some behind the scenes footage of things that we've been filming, and some of us singing as well. We have like a group chat on WhatsApp, and we are the carpool coven, because you've never experienced a true epic road trip until you've been in the car with us singing the Mums and Papas, where it's something to behold.
Or a bit of fun.
Yeah, it's not a secret anymore. Everybody knows that we're terrible singers. So there's some videos of us singing. I think that our Tenacious D is quite spectacular, but you'll have to go and check it out. You'll have to go and have a look.
I'm going to go check it out now. I'm sure I'm going to have a look now.
We'll call you next time we're in a car. We'll call you. You can have a live version of it.
Join in.
Oh, I love it. WhatsApp, that's it. You're going to have to video call me on WhatsApp or something.
Yeah, consider it done. It's done.
Oh, God.
You heard it, everybody. So if it doesn't happen now, they've said it live, so they're gonna have to do it now.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining me. I do appreciate it. Apologies for the sound issues and everything else. Time has gone really quick. Even since you've joined me, we've still been on an hour since you've joined me as well.
Oh, there's 17
So
messages
Jenny
that I've
Hammond,
missed.
you can just find them on Facebook. You can just find them. She wants the singing. That's why. That's what it is. She wants the singing.
We can make this happen. This could be a new thing for us. It's like nobody will watch us investigate. Nobody's interested in what we get up to, but it's the singing in the car, usually with McDonald's chips and a hot chocolate as well. So we have a bit of
in the morning on the M1.
It's great. You've got to start off with a little bit. What do we start off with? I've forgotten. George Michael Careless Whisper, followed by Robbie Williams' Angels, usually while we've got a mouthful of chips. And then we move into Celine Dion, High School Musical. So you need to come on a car journey with us. There's always one space left. So when lockdown's over, we might raffle off a car seat just to come and sit in the car with us.
I love it.
It's worth it. It'd be worth every penny.
I'm on my way. Tracy said we need karaoke.
Yeah,
Gary, come back again soon, ladies. We will do. We'll get you ladies back on one of the many other shows that we've got running now. Because we just added another show this week. So we're I know.
it's crazy. I don't know how you fit it all in. You're superhuman.
I don't know either, to be honest. I don't go to work, do I? So I haven't really got much else to do.
You should have come up here. I've just had £1,000 worth of flat pack furniture to put together. You could have come and helped with that.
I'm not allowed. I've got a shield.
I'll wear a hazmat suit. You're right.
That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. Thank you, ladies. You take care. I much appreciate it. Check them out on Facebook, check them out on their website, and check them out on Instagram, especially for the singing.
Okay,
Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow. It's 7:14.
Thanks for having us.
That's why you're welcome. Come back 7 o'clock tomorrow for the free readings. And join Gary at 9 tomorrow on his open mic. Your subject, your hour, completely uncensored. Who knows what he's going to come out with? We never know, and that's why it's open mic in after 9.
I'm going to heckle him so badly.
See you all tomorrow.